Imagine waking up in the morning. The sun is rising, but instead of feeling ready to face the day, your joints ache like rusty hinges on an old gate. The stiffness makes even pulling the covers back feel like a small battle. You wonder, is this just age? Is this my new normal? I want to tell you, it doesn't have to be. The choices you make at breakfast, of all things, can either feed the flames of inflammation or help quiet them down. Food can be medicine, and the first meal of your day can become your greatest ally in reclaiming comfort, mobility, and independence. I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Wellness Blueprint Over 50. Today we'll explore 3 breakfasts that are not only delicious, but proven to soothe arthritis pain and help your body feel lighter, freer, and ready to move again. When I think about arthritis pain, I think of my patient Ellen. She's 68, a retired teacher, and for years her mornings were her hardest time. She would shuffle from her bed to the kitchen, clutching her coffee cup, hoping the warmth might loosen her hands. Ellen told me once, "It feels like my joints have been glued shut overnight." But one small change in her breakfast made a world of difference. Oats with turmeric and ginger. It may sound simple, but sometimes the simplest choices are the most powerful. Let's start with oats. Think of oats as the steady friend who keeps your blood sugar calm. When blood sugar spikes and crashes, it's like pouring gasoline on the fire of inflammation. Oats, rich in soluble fiber, slow that roller coaster, keeping your energy stable and your joints quieter. They're also full of antioxidants, which act like little shields inside your body, protecting cells from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is what happens when free radicals, tiny troublemakers, start damaging tissue, including the delicate linings of your joints. By calming that storm, oats help create a safer environment for healing. But oats are just the foundation. The real magic begins when you stir in turmeric and ginger. Turmeric, with its golden glow, carries a compound called curcumin. Imagine curcumin as a firefighter, rushing to the scene where inflammation is smoldering, cooling it down before it spreads further. Multiple studies, including one published in the journal Arthritis Research and Therapy, have shown curcumin's ability to reduce pain and stiffness in arthritis patients. The only challenge? Our bodies don't absorb it very well on their own. That's where black pepper comes in. Just a pinch increases curcumin's absorption by up to 2,000%. It's like opening the door and letting that firefighter actually reach the flames. Ginger joins this team as the wise elder. For centuries, it has been used to ease pain and improve digestion, but modern science now confirms its power against inflammation. Gingerols, the compounds within ginger, target the same inflammatory pathways that over-the-counter pain relievers often do, but without the side effects of long-term medication use. When Ellen started grating fresh ginger into her morning oats, she told me it was as though the glue had loosened. Her fingers began to bend and flex with more ease. Now picture the scene. You're standing in your kitchen, a pot of oats simmering gently, releasing that warm, nutty aroma. You sprinkle in turmeric, watch the colors shift to a golden sunrise, then add a dash of ginger and a crack of black pepper. The scent is comforting, but more than that, it carries the promise of relief. Each spoonful isn't just food, it's care for your joints, a quiet message to your body saying, "I'm helping you heal." Some of you may wonder if something this simple could really matter. I understand the doubt. We've been trained to think relief only comes in the form of pills or procedures, but I've seen firsthand how consistent, small choices change lives. Ellen didn't stop her medication overnight, but with time, her reliance on pain relievers lessened. She walked her dog longer, played with her grandchildren more freely, and rediscovered the joy of gardening. She said, "It wasn't overnight magic, Dr. Brian. It was more like spring. Slowly, steadily, life came back into my body." And that's the beauty of oats with turmeric and ginger. It's affordable, it's accessible, and it's something you can prepare even on your busiest mornings. Add a few slices of banana for natural sweetness, a handful of walnuts for healthy fats, or some blueberries for extra antioxidants. Every variation still carries the same powerful foundation. Oats to steady you, turmeric and pepper to fight the flames, and ginger to gently soothe. The act itself can become a ritual, a moment of self-care. Instead of starting the day with processed foods that fan the fire of arthritis, You begin with a bowl of warmth and intention. This is not about chasing a cure. It's about reclaiming comfort, reducing stiffness, and giving your body what it needs to move with less pain. So the next time morning stiffness greets you, consider meeting it with a bowl of golden oats. It might just be the difference between another day of struggle and a day where you feel empowered to move, to walk, to live. When I first met Robert, a 72-year-old retired carpenter, he was discouraged. His knees had carried him up ladders and across rooftops for decades, but now they ached even when he walked across the living room. He told me, "Doctor, I feel trapped inside my own body." He wanted to stay active, to keep playing with his grandkids, but the stiffness and swelling kept stealing those moments. One of the simplest recommendations I gave him was to try chia seed pudding with berries for breakfast. At first he laughed. "You're telling me pudding is going to fix these knees?" But after a few weeks, Robert wasn't laughing. He was walking with more ease, and he couldn't believe the difference. Here's why this breakfast is more than just a tasty treat. Those tiny chia seeds are like little capsules of healing. Inside each one is a rich supply of omega-3 fatty acids, the same kind you'd find in fish oil. Imagine omega-3s as the oil that keeps the hinges of your joints moving smoothly. Without them, friction builds, inflammation flares, and pain increases. With them, the hinges glide more freely. Multiple studies have shown that omega-3s can reduce morning stiffness and tenderness in people with arthritis. They actually calm the immune system's overreaction, cooling the heat of inflammation from the inside out. Chia seeds are also packed with fiber. Think of fiber as a traffic controller in your body, slowing down the rush of sugar into your bloodstream. When sugar spikes, inflammation follows. By keeping those levels steady, fiber keeps your body calm, which means less irritation in the joints. And there's another bonus. Fiber feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Why does that matter for arthritis? Because your gut and your immune system are deeply connected. A healthy gut means a less overactive immune response, which translates into less swelling and stiffness in your joints. But chia pudding doesn't stop there. The berries you add on top are tiny but mighty. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, they're loaded with antioxidants, especially flavonoids, which act like shields for your joints. Picture free radicals as sparks flying around, threatening to damage the delicate cartilage that cushions your bones. The antioxidants in berries swoop in like firefighters, putting out those sparks before they ignite into more pain. They're also rich in vitamin C, which your body uses to build collagen, the protein that keeps joints strong and flexible. Without collagen, joints lose their resilience, but with it, they stay more elastic and supportive. I remember Robert telling me, "I didn't just feel better, I felt lighter." He meant not only physically but emotionally too. There's something empowering about realizing that what you put on your plate can influence how you move through the day. Chia pudding became his morning ritual. He'd mix 3 tablespoons of chia seeds with almond milk at night, add a touch of honey, and let it sit in the fridge. In the morning, he'd top it with blueberries and walnuts. It was simple, delicious, and he said it gave him hope again. Science supports his story. A study in the journal Nutrition Research Reviews highlighted how diets rich in omega-3s and antioxidants reduce inflammatory markers in arthritis patients. This isn't a miracle cure, but rather a way of stacking the odds in your favor. Each spoonful of chia pudding is like a small step toward freedom, freedom to walk further, to bend easier, to rise from a chair without wincing. And it's versatile too. You can add cinnamon for extra warmth, flax seeds for more omega-3s, or even a spoonful of yogurt for probiotics. Every variation still carries the same foundation of anti-inflammatory power. For those who worry about preparation, chia pudding is as easy as pouring and stirring. It takes 5 minutes at night and greets you in the morning ready to eat. When Robert came back for his follow-up appointment, he was smiling. He told me he'd walked around the park with his granddaughter without having to stop and sit down. That small victory meant more to him than any number on a chart. "Doctor," he said, "I thought my best days were behind me, but now I feel like I still have more good years to live." That's the gift of starting your day with something as simple as chia seed pudding with berries. It's nourishment not just for your body but for your hope. There's a woman I'll never forget. Her name was Margaret. At 65, she loved traveling and dreamed of visiting her daughter overseas. But arthritis had become her invisible chain. She told me, "Even the thought of walking through an airport makes me anxious. My hips just won't cooperate." We began with small steps, including a breakfast change, avocado and smoked salmon toast. Now, I know it sounds like something from a fancy cafe, but the beauty of this meal is in how simple and powerful it really is. Let's start with avocado. Imagine your joints as gears in an old machine. Without oil, they grind and wear down, but with the right lubrication, they move smoothly. Avocados provide that oil in the form of monounsaturated fats. These fats aren't just calories, they're peacekeepers. Unlike unhealthy trans fats or processed oils that fuel inflammation, monounsaturated fats calm it down, easing the friction inside aching joints. And that's not all. Avocados are rich in vitamin E, a potent antioxidant that acts like a shield, protecting your cartilage from damage caused by oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as rust forming on metal, slow, destructive, and painful. Vitamin E helps slow that rust, giving your joints more time and resilience. Avocados also offer vitamin C, which, as we discussed earlier, supports collagen production. Collagen is like the scaffolding that keeps your joints stable and flexible. Without it, joints weaken, but with steady nourishment, they stay strong. And then there's potassium. Many people don't realize how crucial potassium is. It regulates fluid balance and muscle function, helping to ease cramps and stiffness that often accompany arthritis pain. In short, every creamy bite of avocado is like sending a gentle wave of relief through your body. Now add smoked salmon, and you've just supercharged this breakfast. Salmon is one of the richest natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. Remember the hinges metaphor? Omega-3s are the lubricant that keeps those hinges moving, reducing squeaks, grinding, and pain. Clinical studies, including research published in the Annals of the Rheumatic Diseases, confirm that omega-3 supplementation can significantly reduce joint tenderness and morning stiffness in people with arthritis. With salmon, you're not just getting protein for muscle strength, you're giving your joints the fuel they need to fight inflammation every single day. I often think of Margaret when I talk about this meal. At first, she was skeptical. She said, "On Dr. Brian, I've never been much of a fish eater." But we worked on ways to make it enjoyable. Whole grain toast for fiber and steady energy, mashed avocado with a drizzle of lemon juice, topped with a few slices of smoked salmon. She sprinkled sesame seeds on top and said it felt like something she'd order at a cafe, not something she had to eat for her health. Within weeks, she noticed less stiffness in her hips, more energy in the mornings, and a renewed sense of possibility. The day she came to tell me she'd booked her ticket to visit her daughter, her eyes filled with tears. She said, "I feel like life is opening up again." That's the power of this breakfast. It's not just about nutrients. It's about what those nutrients give back. The ability to walk farther, to travel, to laugh without wincing in pain. It's about independence and dignity. Even if you're vegetarian and skip the salmon, you can add flax or chia seeds for omega-3s, keeping the foundation of anti-inflammatory fats intact. It's adaptable, versatile, and deeply nourishing. What I love most is how quickly this meal comes together. In less than 5 minutes, you can toast a slice of bread, mash half an avocado, add salmon, and finish with a sprinkle of capers or herbs. That's all it takes to prepare a meal that works on your behalf long after breakfast is over. Unlike processed options that may taste good in the moment, but leave your joints inflamed, this combination gives you sustainable energy and comfort. Margaret's story reminds us that change doesn't require a complete overhaul. Sometimes it starts with one toast, one avocado, one mindful choice. And over time, those choices add up, not just to less arthritis pain, but to the return of confidence, freedom, and joy. Breakfast doesn't have to be ordinary. It can be the quiet revolution that helps you reclaim your life. So there you have it, 3 breakfasts that do more than fill your stomach. Oats with turmeric and ginger to steady your blood sugar and calm inflammation. Chia seed pudding with berries to flood your body with omega-3s and antioxidants. And avocado with smoked salmon toast to strengthen joints with healthy fats and protein. Each one is simple, comforting, and profoundly healing. Remember, change doesn't have to be overwhelming. It starts with one meal, one morning, one choice. I'm Dr. Brian, and this is Wellness Blueprint Over 50. Take care of your joints, and they'll take care of you.